Hello and welcome to Kainos Education. Today we're breaking down Simon Armitage's Mother Any Distance in a 5-minute summary. Hello, so we are breaking down Simon Armitage's Mother Any Distance. Okay, so the poem opens up with Mother Any Distance greater than a single span requires a second pair of hands. You come to help me measure windows, helmets, doors, and acres of walls and prairies of the floors. Okay, so immediately we can see that there's some rhyme being used here. Okay, and we would call this the A-B-B rhyme scheme. Okay, now it's very important to note here that there are different forms of things being measured here. Okay, so we are definitely understanding that acres, second pair of hands, a single span, and all these different things are different ways of showing measurement. And so we're getting like a semantic field of measurement. Okay, stanza 2 says, you at the zero end, me with the stool of tape, recording length, reporting meters, centimeters, back to the base, then leaving up the stairs, the line still feeding out, unreeling, years between us, anchor, kite. Now the second stanza is very, very interesting as it talks about you at the zero end. So it could be used to indicate the start of the speaker's life, okay, and how their life is just going through like a tape measure. It keeps going and going and going. Okay, so it says recording length, reporting meters, centimeters, back to the base, then leaving up the stairs, the line still feeding out, unreeling. So it's going. The distance is going, time is going, the measurement and the scale keeps growing, which could show how the speaker is growing up. Okay, until it says years between us. And then we get anchor, kite. Now, the caesura here is really important because the word anchor gives the impression of something that is rooted down. Okay, so if something is an anchor, it pulls you down, whereas if something is a kite, it allows you to fly high, it allows you to be free. And so it's showing us this dichotomy or this challenge that the speaker seems to be having between being dependent on their mother and having their independence by being a kite. Okay, and so we are definitely seeing this challenge in the speaker's life. We get to the last part and it says, I spacewalk through the empty bedrooms, climbing the ladder to the loft, to the breaking point where something has to give. 2 floors below, your fingertips still pinch. The last 1/100th of an inch I reach towards a hatch that opens on an endless sky, to fall or to fly. And so we see here, even at the end with the to fall or to fly, it's quite reminiscent of the anchor kite that we see in paragraph 2, which already shows how the speaker is conflicted about being dependent on their mother or having this sense of independence. Now we see here as well that there is a lot of rhyme throughout the poem, but it's also important to note the different lengths of the stanzas, okay? And it could be reminiscent of a measuring tape, how all the lines continue to go and the continued enjambment that we see, especially in the third paragraph, a lot of enjambment that we see, which could show the different types of lengths and the different moments within the speaker's life. The last 1/100th of an inch, and then it has an ellipses where it says, I reach towards a hatch that opens on an endless sky, which could show the freedom in which they are having as they decide whether they want to fall or to fly. And so this is a great poem that speaks about the relationship between a parent and a child, and this fight between dependence and independence that the speaker seems to be having with their mother. This is a great poem it compares very well with Eden Rock, Before You Are Mine, and some of the other poems from the Love and Relationships poetry anthology. We hope that this was helpful for some 5-minute quick revision for you, and we wish you all the best in your exams. I hope this breakdown has been short and concise and helpful to you in all your revision. Follow us on all of our social media platforms as we share more #Kainos study tips and more revision content. Like and subscribe, follow, and we'll see you in the next one.